Hello, beautiful people. It's Sinderfam. Welcome to the channel. Today, we're back again with another video, and this is from Candace Owens. And this is in regards to Lily Phillips, the young lady or the OnlyFans girl who slept with or had sex with 100 men, and she has decided in 24 hours, and she is about to embark on sleeping with 1,000 men in 24 hours for a Guinness record or something. So yeah, Candice Owens did an interview with her or interviewed her. So we're gonna be checking the interview and what Candice Owens have got to say and what Lily Phillips have got to say regarding this challenge or regarding the record or the plan to embark on this record. So yeah, let's check it out.
So what is it that motivates these people? If you're not motivated by money, then these people are obviously just motivated by the notoriety. And there's no finer modern example of the trappings of notoriety than a young woman named Lily Phillips. I told you a bit about her. She is indeed from England. I also want to remind you that she's just 23 years old and she is an, you guessed it, Instagram model. Instagram model, this kind of new age of modeling. And she is desiring to break one of these obscure world records. And she's willing to defile herself and willing to go against basic principles of morality, because I'm certain that prior to her engaging in this, no one had really thought up how many men can one sleep with in one day. That's what she's thinking about. She wants to know how many men she can have sex with in one day, and she's going for 1,000. Now you might be going, why 1,000? Surely no one's gotten close to that. Actually, someone has. The existing record was set in Warsaw, Poland back in 2004. I was kind of hoping it would be a random Polish girl that did this, but it wasn't. Of course, it's an American girl. Of course, it's an American girl. Her name is Lisa Sparks. She is a porn star from Bowling Green, Kentucky, and she managed to sleep with 919 men in a single day. She set the record at the third annual World Gangbang Championship in Warsaw. You're like me, you're going, I didn't know that there was a World Gangbang Championship in Warsaw, Poland, but there is. And she went out and did that. And she competed against two other women who wanted to achieve this level of notoriety. And she won by 21 men, with each person that she was involved with sexually being allowed 45 seconds with her. And I gotta tell you this, the update on this is that on her website, she confessed, she said this, quote, to be completely transparent with you all, this event is the one thing I regret doing in the 21 plus years in the porn industry to this day. This was also the only job I agreed to perform strictly for the money. They say hindsight is 2020, but I'd like to think that maybe as women, we could have the foresight to recognize that sleeping with 919 men in one day is going to be something that you deeply regret. And at least that was kind of what I wanted to speak to Lily Phillips about. I'm not really interested, I told you guys this yesterday, in this whole like outrage culture and screaming and calling each other names. I do think the right is starting to behave like the left, and there's no learning in any of it when we're just being outraged and screaming. Like, obviously what Lily Phillips is doing is wrong. Me screaming about how wrong that is isn't really going to change her desires any, but having a conversation with her, why would I sit down with someone like this? It's important for other young ladies to hear this in this world where people are just so mesmerized by the trappings of fame. And it's not fame, of course, that they're after, it's infamy. So for Lily Phillips to beat this record, just to be clear, if you're like me and maybe the math isn't mathing instantly, she's going to have sex with a man every 86.4 seconds for 24 hours straight. And that includes breaks to go to the bathroom, presumably. If she wants to eat something, I don't know how it's going to work out. I don't want to think through the logistics, but it works out to 86.4 seconds. She's got to have a guy. And they're preparing for this day, interviewing the guys, the scumbags are going to line up to do this. And in further preparation, Lily decided to do a test trial with 100 men in one day. She's like, okay, I'm going to do 1/10 of it. And she invited documentary makers to capture the big feat, because I don't know what she was imagining. I'm assuming she was just like, I'm breaking a record, it's going to be great. And I want to show you this clip that has gone viral. I should have covered this last week, but I was feeling sick, and you're going to definitely hear me sounding sick as I'm speaking with her. But again, these are the moments. The cameras went right in and asked her how she felt about accomplishing 100 men in one day. And what they captured, in my view, is the real Lily. Raw emotions, which would follow any person who is a human being who has just been used and defiled in this way by 100 men. Take a listen.
It's not for the weak, girls, if I'm honest. It was hard. I don't know if I'd recommend it.
Why not?
I think if you're a different type of girl, it's very like, it's kind of like being a prostitute in a sense of like, it's just a different feeling. I don't know how to explain it. Like,
It's not like just having sex with someone.
yeah, just one in, one out. Like, it feels intense.
Like more intense than you thought it might.
Definitely.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Okay. Just take
Yeah, 1 minute.
So that right there is the real Lily Phillips. And I want to be clear, this documentary maker, the guy next to her, I think his name is Josh Peters, absolute monster to be documenting that. I mean, you just have to be guided by basic principles of morality. And to see her breaking down like that and to be playing the part as if he's her friend and really wanting to understand, oh, she's a bit overwhelmed right now. Oh, is that shocking for you to hear too, Josh Peters, that this 23-year-old young woman who's making a massive mistake and you're, instead of trying to guide her away from it, wanting to capture it. But that's her. That raw emotion is the real Lily Phillips. And it made me realize that first and foremost, you are dealing with someone who's incredibly delicate, who is now having to put on a front in front of the world because she wants to make a lot of money. She wants to make a lot of money and she wants to do this quickly. She wants to do this in one day. And in order to have a bunch of men sign up to watch that, they don't want to see her crying. So this is not good. She's got to rebrand it and pretend that she's really into it, that the sex is good and she just loves sex so much and she's super freaky. It reminded me of a conversation that I had with Amber Rose. I can't remember if it actually made its way into our interview or if it was off camera, where she spoke about this, how she'd be dying on the inside being asked to do these things, but knowing that this is what was being demanded of her of the sex industry because guys are buying into this fantasy. And so my job sitting across from Lily Phillips, like I said, wasn't to denigrate her, wasn't to make her feel worse. I'm 35 years old. She is 23 years old. It was truly to try to understand her and to at least get her to admit that she is only doing this because she wants money.
Obviously, and possibly fame. But again, this is the exact same thing they keep doing to women, or people keep doing to women, because most, especially modern women, are not supposed to be held accountable, or are not never held accountable. Just because a woman cries, then all of a sudden women or people should just feel sorry for them, when majority of the time they do these things intentionally just to get on the pity side, or they get they are bound to be emotional. They're always emotional. They're gonna be emotional, right? But at the exact same time, let's not forget that she is willingly doing this and nobody is forcing her. She has the right to decide not to do this. She has the right to decide she doesn't want to do this, or she doesn't feel film the documentary. But exactly, she went viral for a particular reason. Why do you think, if it was a man that wanted to do this or did this, do you think he's going to be getting the airtime she is getting? Of course not. But again, let's just believe that a woman, everybody should come feel sorry for a woman when she has decided to do this because she wants to go viral or whatever, or make tons of money. It's not making sense.
And so I asked her really just a basic question. I said, if you're really trying to stress that this is not about money, are you telling me that if Ford Models came to you and offered you $50 million, and say, you know what the only amount, here's $50 million, I just want you to walk down a Victoria's Secret and wear a bikini, you wouldn't take it because you just love the sex so much? And here's what she had to say. Take a listen.
Can you address though what she said? If someone offered you $50 million to never do this, or to have never done this, would you have taken the 50, or would you still be like, no, it's something I want to do?
I've always said this. I did this as a hobby before I did it for work. So I was sleeping around and doing these stuff like that before I actually did OnlyFans. I was a lot more promiscuous off camera before I was on camera. And so no, I do this job because I love it so much. And to me, obviously money in every job is a big thing, but it's not about the money for me. It's about
You said you did this to give back to your OnlyFans that afforded your lifestyle. You said that, I think.
no, as in they have really helped me. You know,
But you said you thought me and my assistant
I never
sat
said
in a
anything
room.
about money.
You
Just
said
about
me and my
freedom.
assistant sat in a room and decided that we should do this as a way to give back to the fans that have supported this, this lifestyle that I have.
Me and my assistant was talking, and I was like, I just looked up the world record because I was like, how cool would this be to do? Because obviously it's something that's kind of obviously never been done before. It'd be really unique content. It would also be giving, back to my supporters and stuff like that who have subscribed and, made my life how it is today. I didn't say yeah, lifestyle. So as in like this freedom that I have. I love the life that OnlyFans has given me, definitely. And that's not necessarily money.
What freedom has it given to you if it's not money, out of curiosity?
So to be able to work for myself, to be able to do something I love, you know,
Working for yourself, meaning making,
I,
right?
sorry.
Working for yourself as in being able to earn an income by yourself. And
No, so working for myself to be able to wake up and grab a coffee in the morning and not have to be in a desk at a 9 to 5, to be able to myself and, you know,
easy money.
make a living out of it, be able to support. No, so it's to be able to support myself, do something
Yeah,
that I
that's
love,
money. Just,
and be able
just so you
to.
know, that's all. That's money you're talking about. Like to be able to support
But
yourself.
it's, I'm not just talking about like money. I'm talking about the freedom this lifestyle has given me.
Money
That's-
permits
I love
freedom. Money
Yeah.
permits freedom.
Yeah, we're just trying to connect the dots there. For
So
you.
money means you have the freedom to do whatever you can in your life, right? That's what money is, equals essentially time in this case, right? Because you're saying the freedom
Yeah.
to do what you want to do. So
But
the question
this is
is,
the thing. I could do OnlyFans and make 20 grand a month and still have the same lifestyle as I do now, than have to go to this extreme and, you know, do the 1,000. Like I could. So it's not really like the money thing for me.
Yeah, because now it's about the fame, the infamy, I think, for you.
So there it is. It's obvious that this is something that is going to bring her great pain, but she's already pivoted and now she's pretending like she just had a weak moment after 100 men. And this is really what she's always wanted because, as you heard her say, she used to do this for free. She used to give up the goods for free. And we're supposed to imagine that she was sleeping with 1,000 men per day, as if that's clearly, you could be as promiscuous as you want, but no one has ever done that. And so it has to be about something else. Again, she's back to trying to sell the fantasy to men like she's actually into this. And she's not. And that's why it's important to speak to these people, because I think young women look at this as an example, and she's talking about how this is about freedom. Did you hear her? Yeah, sure, she's got to sleep with 1,000 strange men, but she can get a coffee in the morning. And she doesn't have to think about it. She's not stuck in a cubicle from a 9 to 5. So there are some women who are stuck in a cubicle from 9 to 5 and they then get a coffee. She has so much more freedom because she's just going to sleep with 1,000 men, 1,000 strangers in one day. And she doesn't really see that as a form of bondage, or at least the fake Lily, who I was interviewing. The fake Lily doesn't see that. The Lily that was crying obviously very much understood what she was giving up. And it lets you know that buried down deep, she does have a soul. But the more compelling piece of this for me really was learning that her mother is involved in her career. Her mother manages the finances. And when Lily spoke to journalists about this, she described her relationship with her mother and her father as being wholesome, that these were good parents because they were supporting her. I know it's shocking. Take a listen to what she had to say.
One of the questions that I certainly had when I was reading into your story was, I think that you kind of tried to portray it like you had this like normal upbringing. And I obviously don't buy that because I have children and I have a daughter, and your mother being involved in this signals to me that you had anything but a normal upbringing, because there's no mother that would spiritually want to see her child violated like that, because that's what it is, whether you perceive it or not. Your mother is watching you or helping you or dealing with the finances of you being violated 100 times in one day. And so I was very disturbed by that more than anything else. Is like I've heard of OnlyFans girls. I've sat down with them, you know, respectfully on the whatever podcast, and a lot of them have stories and they understand that, you know, my mom, my dad, my upbringing didn't do this. You know, it led me to this choice in life, but you don't seem to have recognized your mother's abuse in this, which is quite alarming to me. So I'm just curious about your relationship with her.
I mean, my parents definitely don't describe having as, what did you say? Sorry, abusive or
Violating.
I don't think it's abusive. I think
Just
your daughter
violating.
being violated 100 times by strangers is abusive.
So my parents don't describe as being violated. They don't really see it in that way. They know I've always been very liberal, and to be honest, my parents, they don't necessarily, they're not coaching me into it. They're not telling me, please keep having these people at all. They're not, you know, they're not really exactly, I wouldn't really say like supportive, but at the end of the day, they love me. And what is it going to do if they disown me, stop talking to me? That would only cause more heartache. So they see it from a standpoint of, you know, my mum does like my finances because she wants to help me. You know, they just want to do what they can to help. It's not so much like if they disown me tomorrow, like I think that would just make everyone more upset.
Are you giving your
No,
mom a cut?
I'm not arguing that they should disown you. I mean, I understand like a mother's love for their child. I'm saying that it is unnatural for your mother to be counting the finances that you're earning from having 100 strangers violate you on the internet for cash, you know? And that is the part that there's just no way to normalize that. There's no way to normalize that. I'm a parent. There's no way, like I have a daughter, and the idea of being involved in that, like, it's not saying that if she goes down that path that you're not going to be there and pray and hope that, you know, she changes and speak to her about that and say, I'm always going to love you. But I view it as predatory, you know, parental behavior. And I don't think it's fair to even describe it as my parents are liberal. I mean, I'm obviously not a liberal, I'm a conservative, but none of my liberal friends, liberal family members, their parents would view this also as demonic, whether they have faith or not. They would just say, what parent would want that for their child? Because your mother is old enough to understand what the implications are for your future. You know, you already comprehend what the futures are, making it. I get that you turn everything into a joke. I think you do that really to protect yourself as an armor. I don't think you actually think it's funny, but to recognize that, like, you're a beautiful young girl, and you're never going to have the prospects. You're not going to have a man that wants to have a family with you because they're going to see you as damaged goods. Your mother partaking in that, just so you know, is a form of abuse. It is. It's abusive.
And this kind of gets into the broader point, and I think the main takeaway of what's going on with Lily Phillips is that all across the world we are facing, I think, a crisis of parenthood. Parents that want to be friends with their children, parents that have given into, and I want to be clear, I don't like her confining this and saying, well, this is what liberalism is. Yes, liberals tend to be quite liberal on the sex topic, but even them, I think a bridge too far is 1,000 men in one day. But this is a slippery slope, right? This is the slippery slope of the sex revolution. And it's why I'm very proud of my faith. I think the church got it right. I think things have become increasingly undone in this culture of sex education at school, teaching people that sex is healthy, having multiple partners is healthy. It is why I hate the modern feminist movement, because it leads women to this point of believing that they're going to be empowered the more partners that they have, when in reality, what they're doing is they're decreasing their prospects in the future. And so I think Lily Phillips is an important cultural moment. I think it's good for liberals and conservatives to consider what it is that she's discussing and to realize, I hope, that we have more in common, and to kind of go back and think through the 1970s and the sexual revolution and the indoctrination that children are going through into believing that you're somehow backwards and you're wrong if you want to save yourself from marriage. But what she's doing is totally progressive. And if that's progress, I want to be clear, send me backwards. I'm archaic. I am totally fine with being considered completely regressive and backwards on this topic of modern feminism. I think it cheapens both women and it cheapens both men. And that's all I'm going to say on the topic of Miss Lily Phillips. Pray for her, truly. Hopefully she will not go through with this, but my guess is that she's too far deep in, and the people that are surrounding her are absolute monsters.
Absolutely. This is the exact same thing feminists are pushing to modern women, telling them to be more promiscuous, because there is always going to be an empowerment scheme or a prize, and you hear them say, oh, they are the prize. So they get a prize, a winning prize for being promiscuous, sleeping with how many thousands of men or how many men, having high body count, and be proud of it, because men too are proud of it. So as a woman, you should be proud of it, be proud of your body count and whatnot. Is not making sense, because obviously young girls or young adults will look at this and want to envision this or want to be like this or want to do this, because obviously there is something they're going to gain, and lots of them don't even think of the consequences. This is the exact same thing we keep saying, because women are not held accountable. So or modern women are not held accountable, so obviously they don't think of the consequences. They just want to have fun, they just want to enjoy the moment or be in the moment for as long as it lasts. And the part about parenthood, yes, lots of parents just want to be friends with their kids, which is not making sense. That's the reason why you see lots of people or lots of parents don't want to be parents to their kids no more. They just want to leave their kids to do what they want to do, which is not making sense, because I can't remember the last time where parents are not supposed to be parents to their kids. They leave the kids to be trained by the society. It's not helping the society, it's not doing the society any good, because we have to deal with lots more dysfunctional people and damaged people in the society, which is not even helping the society. It's creating more broken and more damaged people. But again, with all of this, none of this is right, and we have to call it out and we have to say it, because having sex with 1,000 men doesn't make it any good, or doesn't it's not a good look regardless, and it's not something we should be promoting. Obviously, if you were a man that was doing this, no, everybody would be saying what they want to say and would counter the man, or talk about the man and talk about how he's taking advantage of the women. So why do we think when the woman is doing it, it is empowerment or it is empowering. It's not making sense. Let us also give the exact same judgment we would give to a man if he were to do this. But I would really love your thoughts in the comments down below. What do you think about this interview so far and what Lily have got to say? Obviously, people have different thoughts and opinion regarding this, and I really love your thoughts in the comments down below. There is no right or wrong answer, and everyone is entitled to their opinion. But I really love you to share that and share the useful information you think might be really helpful. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and all of that stuff. And until next time, see you in the next video.